So in this video, guys, I'm just going to go over, at the request of a few of my viewers, how I tan a deer hide. A couple over Christmas, a couple of boys got deer with quite pretty skins, and they asked me what I do. I've only tanned a handful of them, so I'm definitely no expert, but this is how I go about it. And if you have any tips for myself, or you get anything from it, yeah, I hope you get something from it. So when you do get that pretty deer, you can save it and create a nice rug or something to hang up on the wall as a memento, and use as much of the animal as we can. As we all hunters and gatherers, we use the meat, but some people don't know what to do with the hide. And the more we can use as hunters and not leave to waste, the better, in my opinion. So here we go. So I'm about to start on skin. It's the one I shot late last year. It's a lot longer than I usually like to leave in between the process of skinning and starting to tan. But after skinning, I salted straight away, which I like to do as soon as possible. Try and get the membrane off if you can. I find it always easier when it's hanging to get in between the meat and the membrane, or the membrane and the skin. This last one I did on the floor, so it was a bit hard, and there's a bit of flesh still left on there, so I'm gonna flesh it now over just a half timber log. But after that first salting, when I got home, I tried to flesh it again, salted it again, and then because I knew I was storing it for a while, I know some people freeze it, but I've had good success just really salting it up and folding it all in on itself. And I'll show you now how it is. The skin's still taut, it's all dried out, and the hair's pretty tight on the skin as well. So hopefully I've saved it, but this is the process of what I'm going to use to tan at home. I use just a litre tanning kit, the OG manual from my dad's old kit. This is my homemade sort of flesh and pole. It's just a half round pine treated log, shoved in some sawhorses with a tyre on there to hold it down. We're going to flip this and scrape it the old fashioned way while we're doing that one with pressure washer. Coming up to the last bits now. We'll see what it looks like in a moment. I will do another once over, just to double check and get as much of it off. The better job you do here, the better the tan is, because if you leave a little bit out and the hair slips, your whole rug or your whole hide is ruined. So you really want to make sure you do a really good job. Get that membrane off, make sure the chemical is going to have somewhere to penetrate and tan that skin. When it is in the chemical, you want to make sure you're stirring it daily. You don't want any air bubbles or air pockets in there, because once again, if it doesn't touch and treat that skin, that hair is going to slip. And sadly, on one of the skins we did, that's exactly what happened. The 3/4 of the skin was good, but there was an air bubble under one part, and that hair all fell out, so we lost that skin. Okay, so we're finally starting to get onto the skins from the rut. And the other method you had was using the scraper to get the membrane off the skin before we put in the tanning solution. We're also going to have a look at using the high pressure washer here today. We're going to start with the doe skin that I shot. So we're just going to use that board there and tuck one edge underneath to sort of keep it in place while we pressure wash, and we'll see how we go.
So this rinse here after we finish the fleshing, just to get any dirt that's left in the cape and clean it all out. And you can see that even though he was pretty clean, there's still a whole heap of dirt that's in the cape. You want to do this before you get it into the tanning chemical.
So this is what you should end up. It's pretty fleshed and pretty clean. Now we just gotta rinse, stretch all the water out of it, and we'll get a wet weight to add the chemical.
Or 1 kilo. 1 kilo. So that's 5 litres of water.
2 kilos wet weight.
Right?
So we're only doing 1 hide, and we dropped it down to per kilo of formula. We worked it out, so we just added 150 ml because it was 2 kilos, a little bit more than we need. We got about 10 litres of water in there. We just need to make sure it's deep enough. Now we're adding a bit of acid to it, and we'll put it in there, mix it all up,
That's it.
and away we go. So I'm just using a stick to put it down. I'll give it another stir up again today. I want to make sure if there are any spots that didn't come in contact with the tanning solution, do come in contact. You don't want air bubbles, so and you can sort of start to see that hide there starting to get a green tinge to it, which means the chemical is tanning the skin. So just checking the skins. We're 5 days on now, or 6 days, and they've been stirred every day. And I'm just going through the skins now just to check that nothing's been touching, is not tanned. I do have a little bit of hair in the bucket here, but as expected, you're gonna have a little bit come out. So I'm just squishing the skins down, mixing them up, and then I'm going to go through the other skin, both of them that are in here, and just double check we've got at least that bluish greenish tinge everywhere, and that there hasn't been an air pocket anywhere this past week, even though they have been stirred, just to make sure we're not going to have any hair slip and that tanning chemical has reached everywhere. The way to check it is to cut across the thickest part and just to check that it's tanned all the way through. So we're just cutting a chunk off the neck here. I'm going to have a look inside, and as you can see, that tanning solution's gone all the way through. Might leave it in there for another couple of days anyway, just because we've mixed it up and squeezed it all out thoroughly, just to make sure it's all completely gone through. But as you can see here, that hair's not coming out. So, and that solution's all the way through. So we're just getting the skin out now, after it's been sitting. We're gonna rinse it out.
see, that blue colour there does tend to mean it has been tanned. But I have put a nick in the neck as well, just to double check that it's gone all the way through. So when I pin my skins out, I like to have a couple of lines drawn on the board. You see I've got like 1/2 and 3/4 either side, and same this way. Just helps me get a nice symmetrical stretch when I'm doing it. I like to start on the tail and then follow the dorsal line up to the neck, and then pin out the front legs first, and then back legs, and then work your way around. Sometimes you do need to adjust a bit, and then once you've got the shape you want, then I'll start to add nails every 50 mil or so, all the way around. So I'm just into the final stages here. So I've got this nice halfway point, which is from the tail all the way up, following the dorsal line. Sort of pin that out, and as you've sort of seen in the fast forwarding clip, that I do sort of have to adjust it a few times to get that just really stretched out. That's the way I do it. I'm sure there's a better way to do it. As you can see now, I've just been working my way around, and I've got a nail about every 50 mil, just to keep that tension. And as you work one area, you can see that one area might not stretch right, or gets a bit slack, so then you just sort of have to adjust it to get that all stretched evenly. I weighed it just after we washed it out, and it was 3 kilos of that sort of semi-wet weight, not dry, because you don't want it to dry out at all in this process. And the old book is 60 mils for every half kilo, so about 350 mils of leather lube that will apply off the brush and just work our way around, getting it everywhere. And then as it's dried in places, we'll go back over it to finish adding that total amount that we need to. And that's it. We'll leave it there and leave it dry out. This is the finished product, all dried out. You can see it's all one colour, and there's no leather lube left to absorb. So we're just going to start popping these nails out, and then we're going to sand it to break the hide and make it nice and soft. So, that's it. Nice and smooth, nice and soft. Beautiful. Fallow rug.